When it comes to where you should invest your money, I want you to remember this. Match beats Roth, beats traditional. And if you were like, you already lost me, or can we define those again because I always get those mixed up in my head, then you're in good company and we're gonna go over that in this video. Quick little disclaimer, I am not an actual certified financial advisor. I do write technical articles for independent financial advisors, but I am not actually licensed. So please do not take anything I say as absolute truth. Do your own research, especially if you don't understand something before you start investing. And if you're not going through a professional, do your own research and learn what you're actually investing in. Welcome to Finance Sister. My name is Anna, and this is my channel where we talk about everything related to money and having a balanced lifestyle so that you can ultimately have financial freedom. So I'm actually going to be doing a mini investing series over the next month or two, so please don't forget to subscribe so that you get notified about future videos in this little mini series. Basically, I want to go through how you can get started investing and where are the best places in order to take advantage of the best short-term and long-term effects of different accounts. So what I mean by that is Roth versus traditional accounts have a lot of different implications in terms of taxes in the immediate and the future, and can greatly impact the amount of money you actually have when it comes to retirement. Really quickly, we're going to go through the definitions of Roth versus traditional. So for traditional accounts, that's what your 401ks are going to be. The default setting is more than likely a traditional account version. So traditional is contributions from your paycheck that are pre-tax. So when they're pre-tax dollars going into these investment accounts, that means two things. You get a tax benefit, so you get to deduct all the contributions made to a traditional 401k plan, but all of that money grows without any taxes being paid on it. So when you withdraw, you have to pay taxes on not only the contributions, but also the capital gains. So any interest that actually accrues over the life of the investments that you have put in there is gaining taxes, or no, it's gains that you have to pay taxes on. For Roth accounts, on the other hand, your contributions are post-tax. So you've already paid taxes on the money that's going into the retirement account, so everything grows tax-free. Not only the contributions, but also all of the capital gains, all of the interest that is accruing over the years is going to be tax-free upon withdrawal. There's a lot of differing opinions on which is better, traditional versus Roth, but if you think about it, when you're putting in your funds right now towards your retirement, chances are your tax bracket is going to be a little bit lower than what you're actually going to be at once you retire. But a lot of financial advisors will tell you that your retirement income is going to be essentially about 80% of your actual earned income throughout your life. So they're assuming that your tax bracket is going to be lower. But given the fact that cost of living is only increasing, people are finding that it's not actually enough to have 70 to 80% of your paycheck going into retirement, or that's not exactly what they want. So I would be prepared to pay the same tax bracket when you retire as you were before, not less. So that's my frame of reference. I'm just trying to say, okay, I want to make sure that I'm getting as much money at retirement as possible. So I would rather, if at all possible, have my money growing tax-free and any interest that is accruing grow tax-free instead of getting the immediate tax deduction right now. Because chances are that money is just going to be something that I'm going to use on something else that may not be actually as necessary or helpful for me in the long run when I want to retire. To reinforce what the long-term effects could be if you choose the traditional versus Roth routes, let's go look at this example really quick of what that will look like over a span of 30 years. I'll link to this calculator in my description below, but this is basically a comparison for Roth versus traditional. So if you're estimating that you're 25 years old now and you're going to retire at 65, that gives you 40 years of growth. So like we were saying, when you put money in a traditional account, you're using pre-tax dollars, so you get the immediate tax deduction, but everything is accruing so that you have to actually pay taxes upon retirement. And when you factor in what that actually saves you, it's $100,000 difference, including the tax savings. So that's just not worth it to me. But that's also me assuming that my tax rate is going to be similar. So you can adjust that down here. So say if I think that my tax rate is actually going to be much lower because I'm going to have a much lower income, then maybe it does make sense. Maybe it's going to be a little bit more beneficial to do traditional contributions. But for us personally, we want to have a similar withdrawal amount per month as our income right now. So we know that our tax rate is going to be fairly similar. So even if it's not a significant difference, Roth contributions still make more sense. And this graph is including your tax savings. So just remember that over the span of 40 years, this amount is including your tax savings. It's not the actual amount that you're going to be getting at retirement.
So one thing to remember when you're talking about investment accounts is to remember that these are just accounts. So your 401k, your IRA, your 403b, those are all carrying your stocks, your mutual funds, your index funds, whatever you choose. It's just an account that those are sitting in. So you open up these accounts so that you can actually start choosing these funds, these stocks, these CDs, and putting them all in this account. So it's a vehicle that's carrying your investments all together. It's not actually, these accounts are not the investments themselves. So I just wanted to clarify that because I think that can be pretty confusing for people when they're just starting. So keep that in mind. Okay, now that we know those definitions, let's go through the 401k, IRA, and 403b. So the 401k is where we're going to get the match option, which I said match beats Roth, beats traditional. So 401ks are only offered through employers. It's not like an IRA where you can go out and just start one. It's something that the employer has to offer you. And usually 401k plans offer some type of percentage match. So your company, typically it's around 3 to 4% of your base salary. They'll match like 75% or 100% of up to a certain percentage. For example, my husband has a great option, 401k option through work, where they actually put in 3% of his salary no matter what he does. And then on top of that, they match 75% up to 8% of what he puts in. So that's free money that no matter if it's traditional versus Roth, you want to take it. If that's the options on the table, you want to go for investing in the area where you're going to get free money, and getting the employer match is free money that you don't want to miss out on. So before you do anything else, definitely check and see if your employer offers a 401k match. Contribution limits for 401ks as of 2020 is $19,500 per year. So that's a great chunk right there. And that, if you follow Dave Ramsey's methods, that will more than likely probably get you up to 15% of your income, just guessing, but that's a great option to max out your 401k, especially if you get that match and you have a Roth option. So next we're going to go to a IRA. That's an individual retirement account. That's what that stands for. And basically this is something that anybody can start, and the only requirement is that you actually have to have earned income to start and fund an IRA. So basically the contribution limits are $6,000 per year and $7,000 per year if you're over the age of 50 as a catch-up contribution. So people over the age of 50 get an extra $1,000 that they can put towards an IRA in order to beef up their retirement account before going into retirement. Since IRAs are a great option, and there's also options for spousal IRAs, especially for a couple who that maybe you have a stay-at-home mom in the family and you want to be able to contribute more through that route. I'm going to go through all of that information, how to start one, everything that you need to know about an IRA in a different video. 403Bs are actually offered by for employees of public schools, teachers, government, government jobs, things like that, and also employees of tax sheltered corporations like a 501c3. So usually ministers would fall under this category. And the same contribution limits apply to the 403b as same as the 401k. So it's $19,500 is the max contribution limit for 2020 for a 403b. If at some point you realize, hey, I think it's actually a better idea for me to be putting all of my money in Roth, then you can actually do a Roth conversion from a traditional account. The only thing is that you will have to pay taxes at the end of the year in order to do this conversion. So you want to make sure you actually have the money to pay the taxes on that. But once it's converted into the Roth account, all of that money grows tax-free, and you won't have to pay any taxes when you withdraw it. Ironically enough, a lot of advisors are saying to people, if you have traditional accounts, then now's the time to convert it to a Roth since markets have been down. So when markets are down, that's when you want to take advantage of doing something like this, where you're going to actually pay less in taxes because the amount is lower. Your actual investment amount is lower. So that's why they would be suggesting that you would want to convert it so that all that money grows tax-free from here on out. Let me know in the comments which retirement account you have right now, and if you have any questions on where your contributions are going and what other financial topics you might want to hear about from me. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.